Hello, and welcome to my new moon in Gemini tarot card reading for the end of May, beginning of June 2022. It is the day after Memorial Day weekend here in the United States. It's the day after the new moon in Gemini yesterday. So I'm a little behind on getting this prepared, but it feels like the timing is perfect. We are stepping into a really powerful summer. I mean, when are we not stepping into a really powerful time here on this planet? But it feels like it just keeps amplifying and intensifying. So, we're going to take a little pause together and see what we can discern about the energy individually and collectively on this planet. And then tune into what are the possibilities? How do we tap into the highest frequencies and align with that as we move through the next lunar cycle? So I have some cards I'm going to pull and then chat about the energy for maybe 15-20 minutes. And then I will stop the video and I will create an extended, which is included in the new moon meditation that I'm going to create next. So if you would like to watch the extended and get the meditation, the exchange is $11, and I'll put the link in the description. All kinds of magic happening over here. All right, we are going to use the Osho Zen Tarot deck for the first three cards. I'm going to pull one for the individual now, one for the collective now, and one for the highest possibilities for the next lunar cycle. This is for Gemini. So, yeah, here we go. The individual now, tuning in. So perfect. The collective now. So funny. I had a feeling we are going to pull this one. I feel like we pull it often, but we're going to pull it again. Totality. And then the highest possibilities for the next lunar cycle. Possibilities. Like, seriously. Gemini, such direct communication. Isn't that perfect? All right, let's take a look together and see what there is for us in this reading. All right, let me see how to best line this up so you can see it. I'm still playing with all the video and lighting and all that good stuff. All right, so what do you notice as you look at this image? What jumps out to you? Notice if there are colors or movements or symbols. If there's a feeling that gets brought up inside of you. If you see layers, like whatever it is that jumps forward, allow your awareness to give you that information first, and then I will just add in the extras around that. Okay. Here is what I'm going to offer, and it feels perfect that, so if you look at this card, sorry about the video here. If you look at this card, there are all these things in the background. Can you see all those faces? All the different, there you go, all the different like voices talking and all the activity that is around that person's mind, that their head. I feel like it's represented by this. So this is our new moon manifestation circle, and I wasn't going to hang it up there, but I thought this is just such a perfect representation of Gemini energy. Normally I would put this up blank. So when you exchange for the new moon meditation and you watch the full extended video, this is like the bonus that's included. And at our new moon live gatherings in person at my home, we begin filling in our intentions for the next lunar cycle. And we write and draw and sketch into reality those things that we most desire. So it's a way to take a dream, a feeling, a wish, and anchor it on paper, and then with the group power all amplifying it, manifest it, bring it into reality. And normally when I share this, it would be empty, and I would say, come send yours over. And then when it's full, I don't usually post it. I burn it 3 days after the new moon, and I release it to the stars, knowing the universe is going to send us back exactly what we desire, or better. Well, this time I'm like, it's new moon in Gemini. Gemini's all about communication. I feel like it serves to have you see what it looks like when lots of people put all of their focus and their attention into one container. So this is all of these individuals' dreams and lives playing out with like all the magic that is lots of unique expressions in co-creative energy. And so there's drawings and words, like there's all kinds of cool stuff in this, right? If when, not if, when we zero in on the thing that is our dream, our desire, our intention, and we laser in on that, then we can manifest that one thing. If I was trying to do all of that, I would get overwhelmed and confused, and it would look like this. Like all this chatter around this one's head. Like there's just so much going on. How do you manifest anything when there's that much happening? And so I love that the not the highest, the individual now, what is possible for us right now, what we are experiencing right now, is an invitation to turn in, to close our eyes, literally close our eyes, and bring all of our focus into our own awareness, into our own mind's activity, into our own desires, cravings, calling forward that the soul wants to bring to our attention. Tuning into our own body, like what's actually happening in the body when we're not out trying to monitor everybody else's stuff. If I was trying to manage all that, I would feel crazy because there's just so much happening. But if I focus in on exactly the things that were mine that I placed into that circle, I can laser in. And so this card feels like a reminder, an invitation, a hit on the head from our guides that says, hey, tune in, turn in, listen in, go into your own space and see what is there for you. Shut down the chatter, the noise, the stuff that everybody expects of you, wants you to be doing, even as I'm making this video, I can hear myself saying to you, go turn in, which is me telling you what to do. So should you listen to me? No. But if this is the individual message for all of us right now, maybe we all need to turn in. I mean, obviously I make these videos for myself first and then for everybody else. So clearly I need to turn in, which I have been. I spent most of today deeply in my own meditative space, which was so powerful. So powerful. But here's what happens when we turn in, and maybe this is why the card is coming forward for you. Look at the expression on this individual's face. Look at the expressions on the faces around. And then look at the expression. It looks like a her, but it could be a him, or it could be any expression. What do you notice? Like the peacefulness, sort of a little tiny smile that's not even a smile. And then the big scary faces around that are trying to create drama and bring in fear. And then look at the stillness of the body and then the movement of all of that energy. It looks like water, like she's sitting in an ocean of movement, of flow. You see the peacefulness? And then there's also like a white, I don't know if you can see it. There's like a little white sort of, I'm really not good at doing these little expressions. Like around her body, there's like a white, what we'd probably call the aura. But it doesn't feel like that to me. It feels almost like a little self-protective bubble that she's put herself in. You know, there's this straight line at the top that connects, the blue line that connects directly to source, in my opinion. And then it like runs all of this calm, soothing energy around her field so that she's able to sit in this quiet space and listen. Just listen. Not to all the noises around her, but to her own voice, to her own breakthroughs, her own, I don't even know what's in there, right? It's different for each one of us. And I think that's the magic. Instead of hearing everybody else's stories and judgments and projections of what it's supposed to be like in our own consciousness, when we tune in, it's only for us to discover and delight in what's inside of here. My mind, soul, body will not look like anybody else's, and it shouldn't. And yours shouldn't look like anybody else's. It should look and feel just like yours. From that, I've been reading this in so many different articles and so many different ways it's being said, and I've said this so many times myself. I believe when we are this centered, beautiful, individual energy connected to source, present here in the body, expressing what uniquely wants to flow through us, there is something that we can move through us, that we are the only ones who could do that. And it's the existence card. And if I don't share whatever this expression of myself is, the whole of humanity would be less. Because I came as this individual spark from source for some reason, for some expression. And to not fulfill that, like, that would suck. And also, it's constantly changing, you know, like this one today may have this expression that's perfect, and in a month it may be completely different. But because she's continuously tuning into her own awareness and trusting how that wants to move through, it's the perfect expression for her. And each one of us has the perfect expression in the moment for who we are right now. And we're always going to keep evolving and keep changing and keep expressing in new ways and discovering more about ourselves and then creating something new and expressing something. Like that's the magic. That's the flow. That's the gift of being a soul in a human life. It's all available to us. And trying to be like all these others around the side means we don't get to be who we are right here. So I've made my point. I hope. The individual now turning in, which leads to the collective now. And this is what's so beautiful. This card, let's see what you see about the card first. What do you notice? What jumps out at you? What colors, what feelings? So think about this. If this person here is the one in the middle, let's say, the one in the middle, and she's got to decide, when am I going to let go of this one's hands, or when am I going to tell this one to let go of my feet so I can swing into this one's hands? If her mind is like do 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 do, listening to all these voices and not centered and still, the timing of this is like so precise. And if this one hasn't like stopped to tune in, you could completely miss the connection. And hopefully when you fall, there's a safety net under there. But totality, maybe not. Maybe there's no safety net. Maybe you fall and that's the end of the existence. Or if this one is one on either side, someone who is ready to grab their hands and pull them to their next adventure, or ready to let go of this one into their next adventure, and your individual timing is impeccably telling you now, this moment, now you let it go. But instead you're like blue blue blue, all this chatter, all this stuff, and you're looping, you miss it. You miss the timing. And so the one here who's trusting that you're paying attention, that you're in the moment, totally in the moment together. If you're doing all that in the background and you're not centered, this one drops. You drop this one to the ground, to the safety net. Let's just assume there's always a safety net, because that just feels better to me. This little green, it always feels like alphabet. This little green alphabet is like, psh, gotta climb up the ladder all over again. Get back into this one's legs, do the swinging, and then trust again that we can be released into this one's hands. Oh, one of the three of you is listening to all the voices. Down to the net again. Crawl back over to the net. Climb up the ladder. Do it all over again. You have to keep redoing it until the three of you can find this sweet spot, this magical moment where the swinging, I mean, you know this, you've had this in group spaces or in individual relationships. It's like you're so in the zone. You're so in sync with each other. It's like a beautiful dance. You're just there in the moment. And, right? It's like you couldn't have timed it more impeccably. And everyone feels that magic of like, yes, yes. And then the audience, if there is one that's watching, is like, oh my gosh, yes, they did it. Right? This is what is it called? Cirque du Soleil. This is Cirque du Soleil. They have rehearsed and practiced and practiced and practiced. I'm guessing. I don't know anyone in Cirque du Soleil, but I would imagine they have done it so many times that when they climb the ladder, if that's what they're going to do, to go up and get on these swings and put in their ropes and all the beautiful things they do, their minds laser in on, we are totally present together. We have turned in, shut down all of that chatter, and now we can play. Now we can play. Collective now. Individual now, collective now. Why would we do that? I love the way the cards have played themselves out. Individual, collective, so that we can step into the highest possibilities together. So let me show you this card and let's see what you notice about this card. Anything that you see that jumps out at you. Colors, movement, feelings, animal symbols, totems, a place you visited. It could be anything. Yeah. So because we're in a new moon in Gemini, Gemini is very good at communication and they pay attention to all the details. I have some Gemini and I have lots of friends who are Gemini. They don't miss a beat. They pick up on every detail. Gemini would say, you want the highest possibilities for the next lunar cycle? You get the possibilities card. What else would you get? Like that would be the card. What I love about this card, I used to have it as like sort of a backdrop on one of my sketches that I did for my soul grid. I love it because of the eagle. So the eagle, this is my own interpretation here. The eagle to me represents like the most majestic, exclusively magnificent of all the birds, like the bird of the birds. Kind of like how the lion is like the king of the jungle. I feel like the eagle is the echelon of the birds, and the birds are the messengers. The birds are the surveyors of what's happening from above down to below. They are the communicators. So for example, the owl, right? The owl communicates in the night and can go all the way through the darkness to get the little thing on the ground and the hoo 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 messages as I rub my ear. Yeah, all the birds. I mean, your mind could fly through all the different options. The eagle is the grandest of the communicators, and to have this card show the eagle flying over the landscape, determining like, where do I go next? Where do I take, right? They have the biggest wingspan from what I understand or remember. Where do I take my ability to soar and bring it down to the ground? Whether that's to get food, whether that's to rest, to build a family, to take a nap, whatever, right? When the eagle comes down to the ground, there's a an energy that goes with that. There's a precision. And that comes from the ability to see at such a high altitude, such a grand landscape. So that's the symbolism for all of us. Like the highest possibility for the next lunar cycle, think bigger, fly higher. Tune into the next level of what you think is possible. Go higher, go bigger. Imagine if you've been a sparrow or a pigeon or a flamingo, a penguin. Oh, it's so fun to think of all the birds. Imagine you've been any other bird except the eagle, even the hawk. Let's say you've been a hawk. And then the eagle shows up. The eagle is going to call you higher. It's going to show you that there is something more possible. What is that for you? This is New Moon in Gemini. It's about articulating, communicating, delivering a message as precisely as possible. What is next for you? How do you dream bigger? How do you expand into something even more amazing than what you've already experienced in this human realm? And it may feel like you've been in a shit show for this human journey. Okay, how do you fly, not step, how do you fly out of the shit show and go higher? What would it look like if it wasn't a shit show? Or maybe these voices have been with you your entire life, and it takes all of your attention just to quiet them down so that you can sit in this quiet space. And because you're always having to do that, there's no time to even play in co-creation, because all you're doing is sitting in this trying to be zen. So you can't even go co-create. What would the highest possibility be? How about we get rid of all those voices so that you don't have to have this little aura energy bubble around you? How about if you take this connection to source and expand it so wide that you are literally in a waterfall of source energy? But you didn't know a waterfall was possible until the eagle said, fly higher and see that there's a waterfall right over there, and you can just put yourself in that. And you'll learn how to run other people's energy off, like source will run it for you. You don't even have to do that work anymore. So when you climb the ladder to go play with your co-creative acrobatic Cirque du Soleil friends, you don't even have to worry about that, because you're just climbing the ladder and you're up there. You're like, I'm so present. I'm so totally in the moment. Let's swing. Let's have some fun. And that is what the eagle showed you. You didn't know that was possible because you thought this was all there was, until the eagle brought you higher and said, oh, look, this little blue thing right here, it's actually a waterfall. Why don't we bring you into the waterfall? Right? That's one example. Here's another example. So what if, so here's the eagle saying fly higher, right? And here's you, and you're like, oh, okay, all I can do is climb up the ladder and do this swing thing with these two other people. And this is my reality. I'm constantly falling to the ground, climbing up the ladder, swinging in co-creative energy with other people, falling back down, climbing up the ladder. What if the eagle says, ooh, try something different? Why don't you build yourself some new wings? Why don't you get out of this little circus and go to the mountains? Go over here and sit with the sun. Sit in front of the sun. What would it look and feel like if you weren't always in this up and down loop? What if you climbed so high up this mountain, you went on a little retreat or a weekend, or do it in your mind? You don't even have to go anywhere. What if you have a beautiful meditation and you visualize yourself climbing to the top of the mountain, and you sit right, where would a good spot be? Right here. You're equal to the sun. And while you're sitting right here, you invite that eagle. I can't do all these things here. Invite the eagle to come sit with you right here and have a conversation with an eagle energy. I mean, the eagle could be an actual bird that has been flying in the neighborhood where you live and can offer you a different perspective. If you live in the United States, you could call in an eagle from any country in the world to learn more about what would it look like if I left the circus that is the current country I'm in and went to this landscape, which is in another country that I've never even been to before. What would that look like just for a vacation, or maybe to move? So you talk to the eagle energy there about, what is this? What is a different possibility of life on planet Earth? Because I've believed the circus is all that there is. And now this card is coming to say there may be something different. What message would that bird give you? Eagle, when I say it, not when I see it here, but when I say it, I immediately think of like all of the ancient wisdom keepers, the chiefs of the villages, of the tribes, the communities, and how perhaps they would have that name, right, of being the eagle leader, the eagle, it's like the name is a recognition of their seniority, of their power, of their role in the community. And so how many eagle chiefs or chieftains are there who, when you sit in meditation right here at the top of this mountain and you visualize, I'm going to sit right here and I'm going to call in all of the ancient chiefs, all the ancestors, all of those who have walked these mountains, these lands before me. I call them all in, and I'm going to sit in my meditation time, and I'm going to be quiet and listen to the messages that they might want to offer me. These humans, souls in human bodies who have walked this planet, what have they learned? How would they expand the possibilities for you? What messages would they share in a new moon in Gemini for you? Why? Because you decided to pause and to ask and to listen. Because you took this card and you played with the energy of it and you said, okay, there's perhaps something more for me in this human realm than all these voices driving me crazy and this game I keep playing of up and down and up and down. What if there's a new possibility? And I sit and I listen, and the eagles, physical ancestors, birds, humans, energy, consciousness, communicate something with me. What would that be? And then what do you do with that? What do you do with that? I mean, it could just be another noise in the background. You're like, it's all the squawking in my head. I don't even know what the bird is trying to say. I don't understand. And so I'm going to shut that noise out. Okay. Or maybe this eagle is part of the communication coming from source right here, saying there's a waterfall. Let's expand this waterfall and create a soothing, healing space for you. And in that turning in quiet space, listening to the energy of the eagle, the highest possibilities can be presented to you. You would be the only one who knows what that is. I couldn't make it up to try tell you. It would be your gift, your consciousness communicating with whoever, whatever that energy is that wants to give you information. And then you discern, is this here? Do I feel it? Do I trust it? And do I act on it? You're the only one who would know. But I am going to tune into that in the extended. We'll pull some more cards from our guides and we'll see what they have to say about each of these. So if it resonates, you can come join me over there. I wish you a beautiful beautiful new moon energy. And whether you listen to the meditation I'm going to create or have your own meditation time, I encourage you to turn in, to shut down some of the chatter and like be still, see what's happening inside. And then allow the highest possibilities for the next lunar cycle to be presented to you. So much love.